Hello, my name is Tara Kachaturov, and I'm the host of Michigan Entrepreneur, where we feature businesses from startup to stellar. Today I have as my special guest, Tel Ganesan, president of Kaiba. Welcome to the program.
Glad to be here.
Well, I'm happy you're here for many reasons, and one of them being that you are the head of a company in the tech industry from which I came. So it'll be exciting to talk about some of the things that are going on in the IT industry and how your company is helping bring technology to your clients. Before we get started on that, let's talk a little bit about your background and how that led up to you creating the company that we know today as Kaiba.
I've been in the United States for the last 25 years, most of which in the city of Detroit, Michigan. Mm-hmm. I started as an engineer at Chrysler Corporation, so I was there for 13 years, and then I always had this entrepreneurial bug, and then I moved around. So once I realized I started hitting the glass ceiling, I said it's time to go. So 10 years ago, 2005, I left Chrysler and went on to start this venture, and so started out of my bedroom, and then now we are roughly about 500 employees.
500 employees?
Yes.
Wow. That's
and
amazing.
So with the annual run rate closer to about $40 million.
Wow, that's very impressive. For starting out of your out of your home. I mean, it's the entrepreneurial dream.
Yeah, so I just came to the US to pursue my master's degree, so I went to Wayne State, and all I was looking for to work for an automotive company, which I did. So I never thought that I would end up running a company of this size. But
so was your bachelor's degree in IT, and then you got a master's in something else, or are they both IT?
No, both were not, they were not related to IT at all. It was mechanical engineering.
Oh, mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're really an engineer by trade.
Yes.
I see. Now, when you were working at Chrysler, what kind of work were you doing there?
I moved around in all different areas: product design, manufacturing, quality, warranty, problem solving.
Okay, so you got a good, actually a very good training for being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Now, did you come from an entrepreneurial family?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. So my whole family were risk averse, and so they all believed in working for the government, and they want everything to be safe and secure. So it was very mind-boggling for them, for me to leave a job from Chrysler Corporation where you have the golden cuff, meaning you have the pension, you have at least in those days free lease car and so on and so forth. To
those
leave
were the
that,
good old days.
Yeah, and then this guy going to the street, they could not even believe what I'm up to. But then 10 years later, they're saying that's the best thing I've ever done.
Right.
But obviously, I had to pursue that journey to realize those, the dream, the true American dream.
Right. Actually, well, that's great. It's funny, and sometimes it's hard to make those changes because we have our families, we have our tradition, we have what people expect of us. And sometimes it's hard to break out of that to do our own thing, especially even culturally.
Yes,
because you come from a very close-knit culture, and there's expectations everybody has of us, even though our expectations should be beyond that. But it's pressure.
Absolutely,
There's pressure.
absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision to do, and I'm sure you thought long and hard before making that.
Yes.
Because you go from having a salary to, okay, I got to do everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you're in the street. I mean, if you don't make money, you don't have food. You can bring food to the table. So
it's like it's a really it's a reality check. It's but you had the confidence to do it. Now, what was it, that turning point that you got to some point inside of yourself and probably at Chrysler that made you say, hey, I'm done with this. I'm going to go out and do my own thing. What was it? What did you see going on? Because you left right before things turned really, really bad. It wasn't even that great in 2005, but then it got really bad in 2007, 8, 9, and for a while after. And we just come off the dot-com bomb, in 2000. I mean, you kind of had a very small window of opportunity to make it happen.
Somebody was even asking me, hey, whether I had the inside scoop. No, I did not have an inside scoop. So it was the right decision I took. I think two things I think I could vividly remember. One was that, the 13 years I've been with a major corporation like Chrysler, I always felt the opportunities are really dependent upon other people, not on myself. Even though I have the skill set, but working for a corporation, because so many departments, so many silos, and then all of them, it's like you're chasing a moving target. And then even if I want to do more, you can't do more in a big corporation. You can't really see what you do. You cannot see the impact for yourself. And that was very unsettling to me. And then every time I ask, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you got to do something for Bob, you got to do something for Joe, and then guess what? Joe goes away, then you start all over again. And in the process, I lost 13 years. And my goal is to really make an impact, and I could not do that in a major corporation because you don't get to make major decisions. Most of the time you don't even know, and they are so siloed. You may be working on a hub, you may be working on a wheel, you may be working on a small component. That's not me. It may be for others, certainly not for me. And then the real turning point was that I was talking to my boss. I was asking for promotion. Hey Vaughn, I can do this for you. I can do all that. And then all I was asking for $5,000 of promotion, and he would not give it to me. I got so mad. I'm quitting right now. And then so I put in my resignation and I walked away. And then I asked the worst thing, what will happen to me? I talked to my boss. He said, hey, even if you go out, you're so good, we will get you back. So the worst thing, there is no worst thing to do. I could always come back to the company. But then if I go and experiment what I could do, then after 10 years later,
and $40 million later.
Yes, and then I'm also working with my old boss in some other venture, and that's what I call serendipity. Sometimes you just don't know how things turn out. So your old boss is working with you and in a different venture.
You're really working with your old boss?
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
And he's one of my best advisors. and that's what I told him. The best thing you did for me is you never gave me that $5,000. You never gave me the promotion. And that really made me a true entrepreneur, and I owe it to you. And sometimes, those setbacks are the real opportunities for success, is how I really see things.
Tel, that is a phenomenal story. That is unbelievable. Great story, wow. But sometimes it just takes getting fed up.
Yes.
Because I know it wasn't just that moment. It was a
build-up of that.
It was the exponential epsilon of build-up of,
Absolutely.
over time.
Absolutely.
Wow. And so funny to wrap that around and come back and still be working with him, but now they're contracting to with your company.
Yes.
That's hilarious. So you started on your own. Did you literally just have you, or did you have any buddies, or was it literally just you? Okay, I got to do something. I'm going to job myself in here. Is that how you did it? Try to job yourself
obviously, in? The home equity line of credit, the credit cards, they're all there. Those are the tools you start with. And then, you start doing that. I mean, I did that for a couple years, and then we started getting the traction. Then I brought my brother, who also wanted to leave his job, so I brought him on board. We made little money, and the challenges at the time was to always, getting inside a bigger corporation. So,
when you started off, what kind of services were you offering? Were you doing like implementation service? Is that what you were?
Two things I was doing. One, I was trying to develop a product. Other thing, I was providing services, and I make the money from the services, and I was investing in the product development. And the services is really putting highly skilled people, both in the IT and the automotive engineering space, to bigger corporations. Okay,
and then, so when did you start really getting the traction with the company, and where you started to have to bring on more and more people?
I think it started happening at 2007 or 8, about after 2-3 years.
Okay.
And the first time we felt that is that, okay, all these big companies, you got to be a vendor code. I call them, you got to have a license for the liquor, to sell liquor. They're only sold certain numbers.
Right.
So the option is that I wait until 10 years to get to that level, or I buy companies which have those medallions or the licenses. So we ended up buying a company which had that license.
I see.
And which was much bigger than our size, and then we brought them over, merged, and that's how we got the scale. And then following year, I bought another company which had the engineering capability. So I rolled them all up under. And then that's how I was able to quickly accelerate the growth. And that really propelled faster as opposed to trying to pursue organic growth.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do both organic and inorganic growth strategies. And then all of a sudden, then I ended up having 3 different companies, 3 different locations. Everything became 3, and that also presented an opportunity for us to bring them under one roof. I ended up buying a building, and then I brought white-pay rent to other people. Then I brought them from different locations, consolidated, got the synergies, and was using that scale to keep growing and growing.
So when you so you had to kind of learn a lot of things about business from the standpoint. First of all, running a business is different than being a part of a business like at Chrysler. I mean, you had to bring on professionals, but you also had to understand it. You can't just bring on CPAs and whatever. You have to understand what's going on. This is your money,
yes.
Other people's money, credit cards. I mean, you got to make sure it's all working. But you had to learn even about going out and buying companies,
yes.
making sure it was the right value, going through the whole M&A thing. I mean, it takes time to integrate, and it's not just integrating, let's just add everybody together.
Yes,
culturally.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you've got a whole, people are scared, people are, reticent, they're worried, they don't know you, they don't know what they're up against. People are leaving because they're jumping ship because they don't know if there's security.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so much craziness that goes on in acquisitions. That alone is a destabilizing time. While you're trying to stabilize,
yes.
you're being destabilized at the same time.
Yes.
It's coming together and falling apart.
Absolutely.
And you had to go through that twice. That's a big learning experience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Probably was easier in the second acquisition. Huh?
Yes. And that now became our strength, because dealing with so many chaos, as you rightfully said, is really provided a fertile ground for learning.
Yeah.
And so now I'm using that to continue to grow the companies using those kind of strategies.
And how did you, what did you go through, were both of these companies engineering related, or was one more IT?
One was IT and one was engineering.
Okay, so you've still kind of maintained the core of your businesses around the automotive industry, right?
Yes.
And so you're swapping in not only consulting talent, but also implementation of services talent.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And with that, I mean, that's a pretty unique thing, because many of these companies that, I used to work for CompuWare back in the day and some other ones, they didn't really actually have the intellectual talent in that skill set. It was really just implementation services and supplemental staffing,
sure.
as opposed to actually having engineers on staff that can really consult and be a valued part of that team that's with the whole project.
Absolutely.
That's a little bit different kind of approach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I assume they're PMs, they're project management
yes.
types, and with strong skill sets in Six Sigma, of course, you need that
yes.
background and all that sort
Absolutely.
of thing, right? So in terms of products, do you have a product that is also being sold within these things, or
it's not sold in the marketplace
okay, it's not in the marketplace,
yet, but I've been working on it.
Okay.
And so one is in the manufacturing.
Okay. Still in the automotive sector?
Yeah, still in the automotive, yeah.
Okay.
It's not being deployed yet, but it was, tested at a few places already.
Will it be separate and distinct from what you're doing at Kaiba?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's a whole different kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to segue back a little bit, because I want to talk a little bit about the naming of your company, because I love the name, Kaiba. It's just spelled K-Y-Y-B-A.
That's right.
K-Y-Y, two Y's and a B-A. Pronounced Kaiba. How did you come up with that name? Because I thought there's something to this name. I'm going to ask him. What is it, Tel?
Funny that you ask. I mean, as I mentioned before, I ended up having 3 different companies. Mm-hmm. What that meant was I ended up having 3 different business cards. Everything became 3. Gosh. So I started losing control. Which card I gave to who and which client. So the immediate name of the game was to come up with one name that we can relate to. So we went through all the legal process and said, okay, we'll come up with one strategy where all companies are rolled into one. So I paid $3,000 to a marketing company, as a retainer, to come up with some names. Previously it was all long names. It was not grabbing any attention. So only key criteria I told them was come up with something that grabs the attention. And so they gave about 80 names. I was going through them. I was so disappointed. I gave $3,000, none of them grabbing. So I got disappointed. I went home. My son, he was about 9 years old at the time, so he was just playing around. I was simply asking, hey, Ash, can you throw me some name? The first thing came, Dad, he came running. You should call this Kaiba. I said, what the heck is Kaiba? so look at this, Dad, because this card can trump anybody. It's so powerful and so aggressive. And oh, by the way, just don't call them as K-A-I-B-A, but the actual, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! A Japanese trading card game. And the character is Kaiba, K-A-I-B-A. And so he said, don't use them because those guys will hit you with royalty. Use that as a cue, but come up with something else. So I came up with KYYBA to differentiate, and that's okay. But so the lesson I learned in the process, sometimes the idea is in your own backyard, and sometimes the experts may not know the answer, and so you got to remain open, and even a child can help you out is what I really learned.
Oh my gosh.
So that's really how the Kaiba came, and so now everybody's, what the heck is Kaiba? So it's
yeah, I was
really
looking at that and I thought, there's some story about this. It's either some interesting thing about the family or there's something with the name. Because usually I don't ask about names, but for some reason I wanted to ask about this name, and it's like funny that it
so that's how it came.
literally came from child's play.
That's right.
Literally. But you know, those are the lessons you learn as an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely.
You know, you could put your son into, you know, you could actually offer this service and pay your child now.
There you go.
Great way to fund his college.
Absolutely.
Now that he's probably, what, 19 now?
About 17 now.
17
Yeah,
17 now.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, that's great. You know, talking about, you know, you named your company, and that helps bring people together because now everybody's less confused, right?
Yes.
And where are you all consolidated now? Where is your home base? Is it Farmington Hills?
Home base is Farmington Hills.
Okay.
We do have a location in Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas? I used to work there.
Yeah. And then we have one in New Jersey, and then about 4 locations in India.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you've got 3 in the U.S.?
Yeah, 3 in
the U.S. and 4 in India?
3 in India. I take it back.
Okay, wow. That's fantastic. Wow, I thought you were just Michigan-based. Dallas is great. I love Dallas. Yeah, it's fun to visit there.
Yeah, so we are a global organization.
Yeah, excellent. And so, in terms of building your company and bringing new talent on board, how are you sourcing folks? Do you do any college intern programs? Are you going out into the community? How are you doing it? Going to colleges? Where are you finding your new talent as you?
We do all of that.
All of that?
We do multiple strategies because not any one strategy is going to help us out. We do have a lot of relationship with the universities, so we do provide internships, and so we do provide everything, and that's where we recruit the top talent.
Now, another thing that you do in your spare time, which I don't know how you have spare time, which you really don't when you're running a company, is that you are the president of TIE.
Yes.
And TIE stands for, I mean, the original name, going back years when I first heard about it, was the Indus Entrepreneurs, so representing businesses and folks from India and related countries. And now you have a new name that you're using to relate it. It's Talent, Ideas, and Enterprise.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about TIE and what you're doing as the president and what this organization offers to people throughout Michigan. This organization, anybody can join it, and visit and
the key thing it offers, it fosters entrepreneurship globally. It has about 61 chapters, and it's the largest entrepreneurial organization in the entire world that's for nonprofit.
And I know we've had a number of people on the show who are actually members of TIE.
Yes.
Remember all the names. We have 10 years of people, but
absolutely,
we've had other members on the show.
So we foster entrepreneurship wherever TIE operates, and what we are trying to do, use that as an opportunity to revitalize, city of Detroit and Michigan, and providing, obviously education, mentoring, funding, and accelerating the business through startups and so on and so forth. So we do a variety of programs, whether it be monthly programs, some Shark Tank programs, TIE Youth entrepreneurship programs. So we try to, have several touch points. So we try to address different segments of the entrepreneurial
So have you done
landscape.
your own little mini kind of Shark Tank thing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to be a judge on one of those. That'd be so much fun.
You have an open invitation, so yes.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. I've done things where judging of what do you call it? Like the I can't think of it. The pitches, like Pitch
Yes,
Fest.
absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
you do Pitch Fest and
Yes,
things like
yes,
that.
yes.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. I got to come and do some of these things with your group.
Please do that.
Because I
yeah.
noticed that I've looked at the group over the years. And I'm always saying I got to get over there because I got to pull some people from there to come on the show. And people have migrated over from there that come on the show. But there's just so many entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So many different companies, and you've got guest speakers and a lot of things going on. Now you mentioned the TIE young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
What are you doing specifically with young folks?
I mean, so with young folks, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to, one of the programs that we have, we are targeting kids, grade 9 to 12, and we are offering a curriculum that goes through about 6 months or so. It's on a weekend. They come and learn different aspects of entrepreneurship, and then
great.
they work on a business plan. We have a coach help them out. and then end of the that session, they go through a business plan competition, and then the winner of the Michigan will go to compete nationally.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so the thought process is that inculcating entrepreneurship at such an young age has a tremendous cascading effect in the years to come, not only to the person that is involved, but also to the local economy.
Yeah, and the great thing is that kids have a lot of fun ideas.
Absolutely.
And now they can just make it happen instead of just do what's expected of them. Go to school, do this, do that. They can try something new. Well, you can make mistakes a lot easier when you're younger.
Absolutely.
You're going to make mistakes.
Yes.
Try out things and experiment.
And the only thing that I regret is that I wish somebody enrolled me in such a program. 25, 30 years ago, I would have been a lot farther along in my entrepreneurial journey. And so that's what we are trying to promote that and see if we could, include entrepreneurship in education, and entrepreneurship should be as a tool for career, right? Yes.
Do they, do you run this through the school year? Like, does it start?
Yes, it's September.
So you'll be doing another one this coming September?
Yes, yes.
Oh, excellent. And is it open to students from different schools, or do you focus on a particular
Any
school?
Any school, and obviously we're doing in Metro Detroit. As long as they could come and attend the program, anybody can attend.
And you've done this how many?
It's been 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
And approximately how many students?
Approximately about 30 students enrolled.
Oh, that's a good. That's a good amount.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, wow. I'd love to find out more about that in September and see, the new class. Wow.
So that's what I'm working on. Okay, now it's been working.
Yeah.
How can we scale this program, take them to all the schools, and especially focus on the inner city schools, and really use entrepreneurship as a tool to get people off poverty and really, revive the local economy.
Yeah, and I mean, once they see that they can do it on their own,
Absolutely.
and just what they can create, the jobs, the opportunity. I mean, look how many jobs you created by saying you're fed up, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yes.
I mean, you created opportunity for. I mean, if you've got 500 employees, multiply that times 5 or more. That's a lot of people you're impacting every day.
Absolutely.
And that whatever earnings they make, that goes into the economy, and it multiplies, and everybody,
It has a multiplier effect, and that's really what keeps me going and going. Yes.
Because now you have a lot of people depending on you,
Yes.
not just your son. You know what I mean? Like, there's even another kind of pressure there.
Absolutely.
Because before it's like, well, your corporation took care of you.
Yes.
Now you're taking care of others, and that's what it's all about. That life journey of, what more can I do? How can I serve? How can I take it to that next level? That's amazing.
How can you impact positively? Yes.
Wow, I mean, and that has to change you inside as a person.
Yes.
How have you changed because of this? I mean, when you look back to that day you left and not a paycheck anymore.
All I was looking for $100,000 job at a Chrysler Corporation, and probably drive a lease car, and probably a little bit of pension, but life have offered much more than that. That's on the financial side, and like you said. But then I see that whatever I do is impacting so many people, so I become very responsible and accountable to so many people. So therefore, I try to take decisions that has so much of impact, right? So I take it very seriously, and then also at the same time. And I see how it is impacting the local economy, and so that motivates me to even do more. So why 500, make it to 1,000?
Right.
And so that's why I got involved in TIE. So why not just me, create more people like me? And so that's why I work on promoting this entrepreneurship, not only for adults, but also for younger ones. And so I see it's a virtuous cycle. It keeps going and going and going.
And it leaves the legacy. We've got to leave something behind, and we want to leave something positive and
absolutely
that keeps and has a life to it.
Absolutely.
Because you start TIE young entrepreneurs, and now it has a life.
Absolutely.
First year, you got to see how it works, but now you have 4 years later and moving forward.
And it gives a true purpose. And that's really what I got out of being, in this journey for the last 10 years.
And, I know we only have about 3 minutes left, but how many people belong to the TIE Detroit group, approximately?
We have about we have 2 different groups. One we call charter members. Those are all successful entrepreneurs, professionals, managing partners, and so on and so forth. So it's roughly about 50 of them. And the general members are anybody professional working for a corporation, entrepreneur, want to be an entrepreneur, startups, and so on and so forth. They are roughly about 200 people or so.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be stopping by in the next couple of weeks. I know I've always wanted to do this. I've looked up the organization. I've talked to people at the organization and never made it there, but now I'm going to definitely make it there. Having met the president, now I'm going to have to go now. I'm kind of obligated. No, but I do want to go. I want to introduce myself because we can bring more people on the show.
Absolutely.
And introduce their businesses as well, because it's important to get the word out, and this helps people get the word out.
Absolutely.
So, and we didn't even get to talk about all these amazing things because, again, we're running short on time, but you're one of the Fast 50 Asian American owned companies. You have many incorporated awards, cool places to work awards. The last thing, if you could real fast talk about this, finalist and you're the finalist in the best engagement in the country award.
Yes.
What is that real quick?
I mean, so there's an award that's coming up. So we try to engage with our team, so if there is no engagement, then you really don't move the company.
Yeah.
And so we are known for, that's why we got, the best place to work and cool place to work, because we truly engage our people. So I think there's an award that's coming up end of the month. So we are competing with Ford Motor Company.
Wow.
The fact that we are competing, that itself makes me feel good. Whether I win the award or not, that's a second.
That's fantastic.
But we are in, so I'm very excited to hear the results. So we are finalists.
Yeah, this is people voting on how they view you.
Absolutely.
So this is fantastic. So great to hear about all these things, and I wish we had more time. But we will definitely talk to more people through Ty, through your introductions. And I do want to wrap up with one final question to you. Wish we could talk for a whole nother hour. Is what is your advice to entrepreneurs? You've done both sides of it: corporate, start your own, helping people develop their own companies now through Ty.
So the biggest thing I learned is that one need to be having curiosity. Curiosity is really the key for the entrepreneurial success, because it keeps on changing, and if you stop learning, then we are not going to be successful in the long run. And the other things I believe, I call them 3 Ps. You got to have the passion, you got to have the persistence, and perseverance is there. But the thing that I learned in the last 10 years is that success will come, but one needs to be humble and display humility, and that is the biggest lesson I learned being an entrepreneur.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story today. It was fantastic, and I'm sure we'll see each other again.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. If you'd like more information about our program, please visit us at www.michiganentrepreneurtv.com. Please join us again in the future when I interview another enterprising entrepreneur. Until then, wishing you the best of business.